We're back. You're tuned into Radio Uprising, youth-produced radio on 91.3 FM WVKR. You just heard a radio roundtable about identity. I bet that piece made you think about your identity. Call us in the studio and tell us what you're thinking. The number to call is 845-437-7178.
All right, so as you heard in that piece, several people spoke about their identities. But what is identity anyways? How do you identify yourself and what things influence that? John?
Well, you can discover your identity just by, just figuring out just where you are from, what you do, that kind of stuff.
I also think that sometimes the people you hang out with have a way of helping you identify yourself. More than just stereotypes, but it's easier to find yourself sometimes with the help of others.
Okay.
Well, my identity is,
You can think about it.
well, I like to learn and I like writing, and at school, I like to go to school because it's really fun, and because in the summer I get really bored because I have nothing to do. And other thing about my identity is that I play the violin, and another thing is that that's it.
That's it?
I think if you have as Rachel said, if you have other people around you, you could find who you really are.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is really interesting to me because I've been talking about this a lot in one of my classes here, and I honestly, I think identity is so complex, and then you can get into there's personal identity, and then there's national identity and cultural identity, and it's just kind of confusing. But what do you guys think influences your identity? Do you think it's how you're brought up, the education you're given? Do you think that race and ethnicity has a large influence over your identity? What are your thoughts on that? Madeline?
I think it's how you're brought up,
Mhm.
and because when you grow up, your parents decide if they want to let you go to programs because it helps you be a good person that does a lot of stuff and is very active with their brain, and they just always have something to do. Like my mom really likes when I come to CMP because it keeps me active.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of early morning programs at school because it helps me to get up in the morning. The only thing I don't like about that is that when I get up at 6:15 because I have to get to school either at 7:45 or 8 o'clock or 7:50 or something.
Yeah.
And the normal school hour is 8:30. And
Yeah.
today I went to school at 8:30 because I don't have any program to do. But I get up early so I could feed my cat, and she lives in the garage. But when I have to do these early morning programs, I really have to rush, and I don't like that. So my mom and dad let me drop a few of the early morning programs
Mhm.
so that I wouldn't have to rush.
Very cool. One thing that I think really influences our identity, especially in today, I guess, is the media. Think about when you're watching TV, you kind of put yourself in the role of that character, and I think that really influences your identity and how you think about yourself. Do you guys agree, disagree? John?
I think the media does affect your identity, especially when you're growing up. Because a lot of things that affect you later in life are from when you're learning.
Yep, very true. Any other opinions on that? Joseph?
I think media does affect your identity. You could be someone else, online, but you could be
Yeah.
a totally different person in real life.
You bring up a really good point.
Yeah, it's just the way you decide to make yourself.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for your opinions. Before we move on, we just had a caller who asked a really interesting question for you guys. So, this is going back to names. When you learn someone's name, do you kind of judge them based on that name? Thoughts?
I
You
don't
don't?
judge people on their names.
What if, like, you can't even pronounce the name because it's foreign? Does, like, a thought go through your head in that moment?
Well, I try to learn their
You
names.
try to learn their names. Great.
Sometimes it's hard to learn names that are foreign that I've never heard before.
I don't think it's fair to judge people on their names because they're not the people that name themselves. It's usually the parents' choice. But if I do meet someone whose name is different or foreign, it draws me in. I become really curious about who that person might be. And I feel like if someone has a very interesting name as opposed to something very generic, I might be more drawn to ask them questions about their family or where they're from or who they are. Does anyone else have any thoughts?
I really don't judge people by their names. If they have a really foreign name and I can't pronounce it, I'll ask them how to pronounce it, and it really just makes me want to know them better.
No, I'm sorry, there's not.
I agree with you. And
All right. Well, if you have an opinion to share with us in the studio, give us a call at 845-437-7178.
up next, we have a piece by Kari about clothing stereotypes that he made this past summer.
After that, we'll hear a piece about uniforms done by Shaquille and Andre.
All right, here we go.
What is identity?
Being a teenager going to high school is stressful. New classes, new teachers, more work, and feeling the need to please others with your appearance. Nowadays, people are prejudged by the way they look. The old saying goes, never judge a book by its cover.
The master of other people's minds.
When you first see a boy wearing baggy clothes, what do you automatically think of him?
I think it's tacky. Being a male, you should know, okay, I'm trying to present myself, and the first presentation that somebody gets of you, that's how they judge you.
When you first see somebody in a suit, what do you automatically think of them?
And they're stuck up because they got a good job, so they think they own a bag of chips.
Probably wealthy, and they're stuck up, and they're very judgmental on others, and they think high of themselves.
What is your first impression when you see a girl wearing tight clothing?
My first impression of seeing a girl wearing tight clothing would be, well, in my opinion, she'd be really attractive to me because she's wearing tight clothes, and that's my opinion on it.
I mean, sometimes it's attractive, and then other times it's, I don't know what's the right word, nasty, sleazy, whatever you want to call it. It can make them seem like they don't have respect for themselves, and that's unattractive in itself.
School uniforms. Good? Bad?
My own opinion. I think we should have them because in the future we will have to wear them anyway, eventually.
My opinion on the uniform is that it constricts individuality.
Would you wear uniforms on a regular basis?
Yes. Yeah, I would because it's kind of a rule. I follow all rules, and I think that if you can enforce them, then they should be enforced.
Do you believe uniforms can leave a positive effect on the students?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, what is putting different clothes on gonna do to somebody? Like, I feel that I would be perfectly fine wearing my normal clothes, black on black. I see nothing wrong with it, and then you're telling me that I have to come in wearing khakis, and it doesn't really change anything. I'm still who I am on the inside.
Exactly. She's still who she is on the inside, even when she's wearing uniform. Are you agreeing with her?
I do agree with her because you can't change how people are on the inside. If they're just bad people, you really can't change them with how they dress. You have to just I don't know what you have to do, but you can't just change it based on how they dress.
All right. Dondre, what's your opinion on this? I want your honest opinion. Do you believe uniforms could change a person?
I don't think uniforms will change anything about a person on the inside, because uniforms is on the outside. It doesn't make sense that would really change a person.
I don't completely agree with him, but I believe his sentence did make sense. Uniforms cannot change a person on the inside, but physically on the outside. Me, personally, I have swagger with it. If you want to wear a uniform, I'm not going to say I made this up, but if you're going to wear uniforms, you better go all out. You better go all out with it. And some people can't do that, because I definitely said that before. But wait, just hear me out. The audience, hear me out, audience. Some people can't do it because they may be unfortunate at the moment. But if they dress to success, they will prosper. I believe so. This is in 5 o'clock morning news, and we're out.